You leave. The door closes. And for most people, that's where the story ends. But researchers decided to keep watching. They set up cameras inside homes with cats. Real homes, real cats, real absences. And what those cameras recorded changed how scientists understood the domestic cat. Because your cat doesn't do what you think when you walk out that door. Not even close. For years, the assumption was simple. Cats are independent. Cats don't care. You leave and your cat immediately forgets you and moves on with his day. That assumption was wrong. And the proof came not from theory but from footage. Hours of footage. Cats alone in empty houses. Cats doing things no one expected. What you're about to hear is based on peer-reviewed research, published in journals of veterinary behavior and animal cognition. This is not a story. This is data. And by the end of it, you will not see your cat the same way again. Let's start with the first 30 seconds. The moment the door closes behind you. In study after study, cats respond to your departure within seconds. Not minutes. Seconds. The behavioral shift is immediate and measurable. Most cats move to the door. They stand there. Some sit. Some pace. A few vocalize, a single sound into an empty room that no one hears. Researchers call this a departure response. It's not random behavior. It's a specific, repeatable sequence triggered by one thing: you leaving. Cats that show the strongest departure responses are the same cats that show the strongest greeting responses when you return. The same cats. The same bond. Both ends of the same attachment. Now here's what most people don't know. Cats have what researchers classify as an attachment system. The same neurological architecture that governs attachment in dogs. In children. In humans. It's called the secure base effect. And in 2019, a team at Oregon State University documented it in domestic cats for the first time with scientific rigor. The study placed cats and their owners in an unfamiliar room for 2 minutes. Then the owner left. Then returned. The cat's responses were then categorized using the same framework used to study attachment in human infants. 65% of cats showed secure attachment to their owner. They used the owner as a secure base, exploring when the person was present, showing stress when they left, calming when they returned. 65%. That is not the behavior of an animal that doesn't care. That is the behavior of an animal that has formed a specific, measurable bond with a specific person. With you. But let's go deeper. Because attachment is the framework. What happens inside your cat's body when you're gone is something else entirely. Cortisol. You've heard of it. The stress hormone. The one that rises when something feels wrong, when something is missing, when the body registers absence as a threat. Researchers measured cortisol levels in cats before, during, and after owner absences. The pattern was consistent across studies. Cortisol rises when you leave. It drops when you return. Your absence registers in your cat's body as physiological stress. Not dramatic distress. Not panic. But a measurable chemical signal that something important is gone. Now think about that for a moment. Not as a concept. As a fact. Your specific cat in your specific home right now, his body chemistry shifts when you're not there. That's not indifference. That's not independence. That's a body responding to loss. Temporarily, measurably, chemically. Let's go back to the camera footage. Because the departure response is just the first chapter. What happens in the hours after you leave is what researchers found most surprising. After the initial door response, most cats enter what researchers call a monitoring phase. They move through the home with a specific pattern. Not random. Not restless. Purposeful. They check locations associated with you. Your chair. Your side of the bed. The couch where you sit in the evenings. Some researchers call these anchor points, locations in the cat's mental map that are coded as belonging to the owner. The cat is not lost. The cat is searching. Not frantically, methodically. Running a perimeter check on a territory that includes you as one of its most important fixed points. In one study, cats spent an average of 47 minutes in these owner-associated locations during a 4-hour absence. Nearly half of their active time in places that smell like you, feel like you, are indexed in their memory as you. Scent plays a central role in this. Cats have approximately 200 million olfactory receptors. Humans have 5 million. Your scent is not background noise to your cat. It is detailed, persistent, and specific. When you are gone, your scent remains. In your clothes. In your furniture. In the air of the rooms you use most. Your cat can detect this scent long after you've left. And he does. Researchers observed cats returning repeatedly to high scent locations during owner absences, particularly items of clothing. One cat in a 6-hour absence returned to the owner's jacket 11 separate times. 11 times. Not because the jacket is interesting. Because the jacket is the closest thing to you that's available. There's a term researchers use for this behavior: olfactory bonding maintenance. The cat is not waiting passively. He is actively maintaining the bond, using the only tool available: your scent. Now let's talk about something that doesn't get discussed enough. The difference between a cat who misses you and a cat who is anxious. They look similar from the outside. They are not the same thing inside. Separation anxiety in cats is real. It's documented. It's associated with destructive behavior, excessive vocalization, elimination outside the litter box. It's a disorder, a bond that has become pathological in its intensity. But secure attachment is different. A cat with secure attachment shows low-level stress in your absence and returns to baseline quickly upon your return. The stress is real. It's not disabling. It's proportionate. The distinction matters because it tells you something important. A securely attached cat is not anxious. He is connected. There's a difference between a cat who falls apart when you leave and a cat who simply notices, registers, and waits. Most cats who love their owners are in the second category. They feel your absence. They do not collapse under it. Now, here's the part that no one talks about. The greeting behavior when you return home. You've seen it. Maybe you've underestimated it. Your cat appears. Rubs against your legs. Holds his tail straight up. Maybe vocalizes. A chirp, a trill, a specific sound he only uses with you. Every single one of those behaviors has a documented neurological correlate. They're not just cute. They are data points in an attachment system that has been running continuously since the moment you left. The tail-up greeting is particularly significant. In the wild, this posture is used only between cats that share a social bond. Adult cats do not greet unfamiliar cats this way. They do not greet indifferent cats this way. The tail-up greeting is reserved for individuals who matter. And your cat does it for you. Every time. He has categorized you as someone who matters at the deepest level of his social cognition. Researchers in the UK studied greeting behaviors in multi-cat and single-cat households and found that the intensity of owner-directed greetings correlated directly with the duration of absence. The longer you were gone, the more intense the greeting. That is not random. That is a proportionate response to the length of your absence. Your cat has been tracking time. He knows you were gone. He knows how long. Now I want to take you somewhere slightly different. Because the science of absence is only half the picture. The other half is what your cat does during the hours when you are gone and the initial monitoring phase is complete. After checking your locations and resting in scent-rich areas, many cats enter a waiting posture. They position themselves near the entrance, near the door, near windows that face the direction from which you typically arrive. This positional waiting is not passive. It requires spatial memory, anticipatory cognition, and a sense of time structure. Your cat knows roughly when you return. Not exactly, but roughly. And he adjusts his waiting accordingly. One of the most remarkable studies on this was conducted by Rupert Sheldrake and colleagues, who documented cats beginning to move toward doors and windows an average of 10 to 20 minutes before the owner arrived home. Before any auditory cue. Before the car could be heard. The mechanism is still debated. The phenomenon is documented. Your cat is not just waiting. He is anticipating. He has built a model of your return, and he is running that model in real time. Think about what that requires. A representation of you. A memory of your routines. A tracking system that runs continuously even in your absence. And a body that physically orients toward your probable point of arrival. That is not the behavior of an animal that has forgotten you. Let's talk about vocalization for a moment. Because some cats are quiet when alone. And some are not. Researchers placed microphones in homes during owner absences. What they recorded varies significantly by cat. Some produce no vocalizations during absence. Some produce low-frequency sounds, barely above the threshold of human hearing. But a subset of cats vocalize regularly. Not distress calls. Not panic. Soft sounds, directed into the room. Some researchers describe them as contact calls, the feline equivalent of checking whether someone is still in range. The sound gets no answer. There's no one there. And yet the cat continues. Producing a call designed to maintain proximity to a social partner who isn't present. This is one of the most quietly devastating findings in cat behavior research. The cat is calling for you. Into an empty room. Because the attachment system doesn't have an off switch for absence. It keeps running. Keeps searching. Keeps trying to reconnect. Even when you're not there to receive it. Now let's talk about something important. Individual variation. Not every cat responds to absence in the same way. Age, early socialization, breed tendencies, and the length and quality of the owner relationship all influence the attachment response. Some cats are more independent by temperament. Some are more anxious. But here's what the data shows consistently. In cats that have formed a bond with a specific owner, absence produces measurable physiological and behavioral responses. The form varies. The presence of the response does not. If your cat has ever slept in your laundry. If your cat has ever waited by the door. If your cat has ever greeted you with a sound he reserves only for you, that data is part of this. You've been measuring it all along without knowing what you were measuring. Now we get to the part of this that science can document but cannot fully explain. The part where the data starts to outpace the framework available to interpret it. Because here is what we know. Your cat notices the moment you leave. His cortisol rises. He moves to your locations. He rests in your set. He calls into the room. He positions himself near your probable return point. He tracks time. And when you walk through the door, every one of those systems resolves. The cortisol drops, the posture opens, the greeting begins. That is not indifference. That is not independence. That is an animal who has organized a significant portion of his daily existence around your presence and your absence. Around you. And now here is the thing researchers do not say often enough, because science prefers caution over feeling. But the data permits this statement. Your cat misses you. Not in the way a dog misses you, loudly, visibly, urgently. In the way a cat misses you. Quietly. Chemically. Spatially. Through the systems that evolution gave him to maintain proximity to the individuals who matter. He does not perform his missing. He does not show it the way you might want him to. But it runs in his body continuously, in every room you've ever occupied, in every object you've ever touched, in every doorway you've ever walked through. The cat sitting on your jacket is not looking for warmth. He is maintaining a connection to the person who left. The cat by the door is not confused. He is waiting for the person he has indexed as essential. The cat who greets you with a raised tail and a specific sound is not performing. He is completing a cycle that began the moment you left. This is what the cameras showed. Not a pet going about his day indifferent to your absence. A bonded animal, running an attachment system designed for connection, in the quiet of a house that is waiting for you to come back. Now here's what all of this means for the relationship you have with your specific cat. Every time you've come home and thought he didn't care, he had been waiting. Every time you've thought his greeting was just habit, it was the resolution of a system that had been tracking your absence for hours. Every time you've sat down and he's chosen to be near you, that proximity is the thing his nervous system has been reaching for all day. He chose you. Not because he has to. Not because you feed him. Any hand can feed a cat. Because somewhere in his early experience of you, he ran an evaluation that most owners never see and he classified you as essential. That classification is running right now. In whatever room your cat is in. Whether you're home or not. And this is the part that the research cannot fully measure but the data implies. The relationship you think you have with your cat is probably not as one-sided as you assumed. You thought you were the one who cared. You thought you were the one holding the attachment. You thought the bond flowed from you to him and that he received it with something between tolerance and mild affection. But that is not what the cortisol data shows. That is not what the departure footage shows. That is not what 47 minutes in your chair shows. That is not what 11 returns to a single jacket shows. What the data shows is mutual. A bond flowing in both directions. Measured differently on each end, because a cat cannot say what he feels so his body says it instead. But flowing. Continuously. Even when you're not there to see it. The science of cat attachment is still young. There are questions that remain unanswered. There are mechanisms that are documented but not yet fully understood. The research will continue. But what it has already established is this. The cat who seems indifferent is, in many cases, deeply attached. He has simply evolved to carry that attachment differently than the species you are. Quietly. Chemically. Spatially. In scent checks and cortisol curves and tail-up greetings and soft calls into empty rooms. He carries it the way cats carry most things. Without making it obvious. Without asking you to notice. Without needing you to validate it. But it's there. It has been there since the day he decided, through some combination of experience and neurology and something science hasn't fully named yet, that you were the person. Your specific cat. Your specific house. Your specific jacket draped over the chair. He's been there. He's been waiting. And when you walk through that door, the system that has been running in your absence completes its cycle and produces the one behavior that science can measure and you can feel at the same time. He comes to you. If your cat has ever waited for you by the door, Tell me in the comments exactly what he did. What position? What sound? How long he stayed? Because every detail is a data point. And this channel is built on data.